What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are back with another throwback rebuild. Yesterday we did a Kings one when DeMarcus Cousins was just entering the league, and you guys seem to enjoy it. So today I want to do that same thing with Paul George and the Pacers. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in and do this 2010 Indiana Pacers rebuild. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. YouTube tells me about 60% of the people that actually watch these videos are not subscribed, as we're on the road to 40,000 subs right now, so that'd be greatly appreciated and helpful. Also, my Madden rebuild channel is back. Link to that channel is also in the description below. But as I said, we're doing a Pacers rebuild right when Paul George was coming into the league. So Paul George was the 10th overall pick in the 2010 NBA draft. And if you remember the Pacers back then, a young Paul George, what an exciting player he was, man. He was super exciting. They went to battle with Miami for like 2 conference finals. Obviously, they never got over that hump, but it's still a very, very fun team to think back on. So that's what we're kind of doing here today. We got Roy Hibbert. Danny Granger is still here as well. I didn't actually know what happened to Danny Granger, so I looked back into it, and it looks like the Pacers actually traded him for like Evan Turner and someone else to the 76ers, I believe, or something along the lines of that. So yeah, pretty interesting there, but we might actually keep Danny Granger this time around and keep him alongside Paul George. And as we know, the very next draft, they trade their pick that turned into Kawhi for George Hill. So do we do that again, or do we do something different? There's a lot of different things we can do with this Pacers team that I'm excited about. We also got Lance Stevenson as well, as he was the 2nd round pick for the Pacers in this draft. So he is here as well. But if we take a look at our team currently right now, they have TJ Ford at point guard, which makes sense why they traded for George Hill in the next offseason, because they don't really have a point guard at the moment. You have Brandon Rush, Lance Stevenson, you have Danny Granger, Mike Dunleavy, and Paul George. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move PG to the 2. He does go down in overall, but that's okay. We'll correct that eventually. So Brandon Rush, or he'll correct that eventually. And just like yesterday, if you watched yesterday's video, Cousins wasn't like progressing at all. And if that same thing happens to Paul George, obviously we know how good Paul George becomes, so I'll progress him if I need to. But Danny Granger, Mike Dunleavy, and then Dante Jones, I'm cool with that depth. We have Troy Murphy as our 4 right now with Tyler Hensbrough, Josh McRobert, so definitely some throwback names there. And then right now we have Roy Hibbert and Jeff Foster. So the main thing is a point guard. I don't want to go too crazy in this first free agency, because I kind of want to see if we can put ourselves in that position again to maybe draft Kawhi Leonard, but this time not trade him, if that makes sense. So we'll see if we can do that. But if we take a look at the point guards we could sign, technically, you have a few options here, and we probably have more money than what it's showing me. Yeah, so we could probably go, like, right now we could technically, if it will, yeah, technically we could sign like LeBron, I imagine, but we're not going to do anything like that. That's just too easy at the very beginning. You have Brandon Roy, Steve Nash. I signed Rondo yesterday, so I'm not going to do that in today's video. I think I just kind of want to sign a bridge point guard, like if I brought in AI, which I could, I guess, or like Raymond Felton for a year or something along the lines of that. I think that would be fine. I don't even want to be that good next year, because as I said, I want to put myself in position. So you know what? Let's go ahead and sign a Stephon Marbury for a year or 2 years. It doesn't matter. I'm going to sign Stephon Marbury. That is not a long-term solution at the point guard spot, obviously. And I do want to sign a center as well for extra depth for this team. So Jermaine O'Neal, former Indiana Pacer, of course, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And then Channing Frye could also be a nice option. Eric Dampier, Hilton Armstrong. I'm going to sign Channing Frye to a 1+1. And that will be my offseason. Nothing exciting. As I said, I kind of want to tank just a little bit. But hey, if we make the playoffs because we were that good, it's fine. So nothing too exciting this first offseason. If we take a look at player progression, Roy Hibbert's up to an 82. Brandon Rush is up. Mike Dunleavy is up. And Paul George is down because obviously I moved his position. But that's all good. And Marbury is down to a 72 overall. So TJ Ford will probably still be our starting point guard this year, which is totally fine. We will fix that in the next offseason if we do draft Kawhi, whatever we decide to do. Darko Milicic is on our roster, or on our summer league team at least. That's pretty funny. But regardless, we're gonna go in to this next season with the expectations of not being very good, obviously. But hey, if Paul George and Danny Granger are very good immediately, then we made the playoffs. Can't be too upset about that. So rotation going into season number 1 is gonna be TJ Ford, Paul George, Danny Granger. So those are gonna be 2 guys we're obviously kind of building around to start things off with. Troy Murphy, Roy Hibbert, Mike Dunleavy, Channing Frye, Brandon Rush, and Tyler Hensbrough as our rotation with Josh McRoberts as well. So as I said, I don't really want to be that good this year, but if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to complain about it. Paul George's shot tendency is already pretty high, so we don't even have to mess with that. And Danny Granger's at an 80 as well, so we'll leave that the way it is. And Roy Hibbert's is even at an 80, which is pretty interesting. But I'll see you guys at the end of year number 1. We'll see how we do, and I'm hoping we're in position to draft Kawhi Leonard and pair Kawhi and Paul George earlier together in their career, rather than obviously them pairing up on the Clippers. So at the end of year number 1, LeBron James in a Spurs uniform wins MVP, which is pretty interesting to look at. DeMarcus Cousins, Rookie of the Year on the Rockets. Henry Walker, 6th man. Josh Smith, defensive player, and then most improved goes to Henry Walker as well. Phil Jackson, coach of the year for the Lakers, and Justin Taylor is your executive. So, all NBA first team. I don't know if we have like Danny Granger making it or anything like that. I don't think so. Here's all defense first team and all defensive second team. And then Paul George, I figured he should have made an all rookie first team, and he did. He averaged 17.5 in his rookie season, not too shabby. And here's our all rookie second team. So, we almost actually made the playoffs, and we were like literally on the cusp of it, which is kind of insane because we went 34 and 48. So obviously I would have much rather been like deeper in the lottery, in my opinion, just because, as I said, I wanted to position myself for Kawhi maybe, which we kind of are maybe in that position. It just kind of depends on what we do. So taking a look at the player stats, you had 19.5 from Danny Granger, 17.5 from Paul George, 14 for TJ Ford, 14 from Roy Hibbert, and then 8 rebounds and a block, which is great. 10 or 11 from Stephon Marbury, 10 from Mike Dunleavy. One thing I do regret is not sending Lance Stevenson to the G League. I literally should have done that, and I don't know why I didn't, but I forgot about it, but whatever. So let's go ahead and see who wins the championship real quick, and let's see if we get any lottery luck once we get in the offseason. That would be pretty cool. But Carmelo and Chris Bosh as your finals MVPs for their teams, and you're going to have Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets go on to get a championship. So Carmelo rewrites history and gets a ring. Shout out to him. But draft lottery time. So as I said, we're in the lottery. Unfortunately, may not have that high of a draft. Okay, we're actually projected pick number 9, so it's not too bad. That's probably because the West was just much better than we were, obviously. But let's see how this is going to go. So we are going to get pick number 10. So obviously, I don't know if Kawhi would fall to us at pick 10. Not even sure if he might even go number 1 overall in this draft. I'm not sure. We'll see. What else? Who else is in the draft? Because is anybody going to be able to contest Kawhi for the number 1 overall pick? So right now, Kawhi's the consensus number 1. So, or Kyrie. Kyrie also could go number 1 as well. I mean, technically speaking, if we can get the 2nd overall pick, we could either take Kyrie or Kawhi. I think either one we'd feel really good about. So that's kind of where I'm at. Who got the 2nd overall pick? It was the Raptors. So what do the Raptors have currently? Are they a contending team at the moment? Not really. They have a young DeMar DeRozan. They have a Bargnani. They have Jose Calderon. So obviously they could pair up another young player with DeMar DeRozan. That could make a ton of sense for them. But, or I could try for number 1. So the Suns, on the other hand, let's see what they have. I want to see if anybody's like kind of contending and just disappointed. So the Suns have Amari Stoudemire. So maybe convince Amari Stoudemire to resign. They trade for Danny Granger, if you get my drift. So that is what we're going to do. Is this the most realistic thing in the world? Probably not. But I am going to trade Danny Granger again, and I feel bad about it. But he's going to be the key to getting a top pick in this draft and getting a Kawhi or a Kyrie, basically, is what I'm trying to do. So, Danny Granger and pick number 10, and I'm going to try to talk to the Suns about that number 1 overall pick, basically, is where I'm going with this. So, let's see if they say yes to this. So, they're going to do this to convince Amari Stoudemire to resign, and they are going to decline. I accidentally have trade override on for some things I did earlier with getting Paul George on the Pacers, but I'll, turn that off in a second. So, I'll also offer a future first on top of it, and they do agree. So just like that, we got the number 1 overall pick, and we're going to be able to draft Kawhi Leonard. So let's jump straight into this draft. We already know who we're taking. Obviously, we could go Kyrie Irving right now if we wanted to, but I am going to go Mr. Kawhi Leonard and rewrite history here. Kawhi stays in Indiana this time instead of being traded for George Hill, and we also have a 2nd round pick, but I don't believe any of these guys are actually real at the end here, so we're not going to worry about it. So Kawhi Leonard is a small forward for the Pacers now with Paul George, which is awesome. So Kawhi Leonard, and I'm going to decline Mike Campbell because, as I said, he's not real. Player options, Channing Frye, I'm actually going to accept as a backup 5 for us, and then I'll accept all of those. Qualifying offers, nothing going on here. And then free agency, I want to see if we can get like a good point guard this offseason. So instead of trading for one, we could probably just sign one potentially. So we have Chauncey Billups, a young Mike Conley, sounds good to me. Aaron Brooks as well, forgot about him. Mike Conley 100% is my target here. We could pair him up with Kawhi and Paul George. I think that makes a ton of sense. So we're going to try to go for that. So Brandon Rush, Paul George, you have Kawhi Leonard now, and then you have Tyler Hansbrough, and then you have Roy Hibbert and Channing Frye. So easily my number 1 target immediately is going to be Mike Conley. We have a ton of cap space. So I'm going to go for Mike Conley to start this offseason. So Conley is going to be our brand new point guard for this Pacers squad. And then we also need a pretty good power forward. So like Zebo, we can also go for a young Thaddeus Young who played in Indiana at one point in his career. So we could get him as well. Just kind of go for it here with all this cap space that we have. And he played not quite too early in his career, but so he didn't go to Indiana until 16 and 17. Do we want to go ahead and get him here earlier? Or Jeff Green could be fun as well. Jeff Green, I don't think ever played for the Pacers, but at 24 years old, a 3-and-D wing like Jeff Green, who's 24. Actually, you know what? Instead of going for Thaddeus Young, who's going to be a little bit more expensive, I actually love the idea of Jeff Green instead. So Jeff Green, Kawhi, and Paul George, I love it. We're going to go for it. So, and then Mike Conley as well. So Jeff Green, spending some money here in free agency that, you know, the cap space did not exist like this back then, but 2K doesn't let you correct it, which kind of sucks, but it's all good. So we're good at shooting guard. We're good at small. Actually, we probably could get a better or back another small forward. So Wilson Chandler, that's a name I haven't seen in a while. Mike Dunleavy just played here. Nick Young, Shane Battier, Damari Carroll, Doral Wright, Michael Pietris. I don't want to spend too much money. Like Cunningham's actually for 18 million, which is crazy in my opinion. Sonny Weems, I'll go ahead and give him like a 2-year deal to bring our, you know, another small forward depth piece, and then we'll sign maybe one more power forward or whatever. So power forward, Troy Murphy, who just played for us, we can bring him back for like 1 year. So we'll do that. So I think that's gonna be our off season. So no, he goes to Atlanta. My bad. So I got to go somewhere else. Let's go Carl Landry for a year, I guess. Carl Landry, we'll bring him in, and that will be... No, he goes to the Celtics. Okay, I literally can't get anybody. Chris Humphries, former Chris Kardashian, I believe is what they called him. Do we get him? We do. We get Chris Humphries. So welcome to the team. So we got this going pretty well. I like it. So let's go to player progression. How much does Paul George progress? He actually progresses this time. So unlike DeMarcus Cousins, who wouldn't move, he actually progresses, and Cousins... Same thing, goes down instead of going up, which is kind of weird, but whatever. So it's not my problem today. But now, Roy Hibbert, Conley, Paul George, and Kawhi as our core for the future. And then Jeff Green, not to mention. So I'm feeling pretty good about what we have. I think this is a really solid team in Indiana. Feel really good about it. I think Kawhi and Paul George teamed up together would have been a very, very interesting case early on in their career. But we're reading that history now. We get to see it in 2K. So I'm going to load a draft class, and I will see you guys with the rotation. So 2K at the moment isn't a big believer in our rotation, as power ranking is going to land us at 22nd. We're a very young team, so I can't be too discouraged by that. But Conley, Paul George, Kawhi as you know, our point guard, shooting guard, small forward. Jeff Green, Roy Hibbert as the center down low, which I love. Brandon Rush, Channing Frye, Tyler Hansbrough, and Chris Humphries, and then Sonny Weems. And Lance Stevenson is even developing too. And I might as well go ahead and push Lance Stevenson down to the G League this year. So I'm going to do it. Sign to the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, and then I want to boost his shot tendency up like crazy because people tell me to do this. So we'll see if this works out. So Lance Stevenson, I'm going to push his shot tendency up literally to a 99. Someone said put it up to a 99 when they're into the G League and see what happens. So let's do that. We'll see how that works out for us, see if that turns into anything. We're a 3-star balanced, and we'll roll with that. Hopefully this year, what is Kawhi's shot tendency, by the way? I wasn't even paying attention. So Kawhi's shot tendency is a 90. So we'll leave that the way it is. Conley's 73. That's perfect. And then Roy Hibbert, 83 is fine. So we'll leave that all the way it is. Kawhi and Paul George, go take us to the playoffs. That would be amazing in year 1 as a duo. So Kawhi Leonard wins Rookie of the Year, averaging 18 points per game. But unfortunately, we're not ready to take this step into the playoffs just yet, which kind of sucks, but it's all good. We still got time. These two are very young. But Paul George in his second year, already making all defensive second team, averaging 23 points per game. So that's exciting. But yeah, we didn't make the playoffs this year, unfortunately. If we take a look at the player stats, you had 23 from Paul George, 18 from Kawhi. We actually lost Mike Conley for the season, like, you know, kind of the middle season point. Not saying that was the big reason why we missed the playoffs, but we did lose him. That is something to note. Steve Blake, that's a name, man. Former Blazer, 14 points, 10 rebounds, and then almost 2 blocks from Roy Hibbert, who's up to an 85. And Jeff Green had 10 points. He's still an 80 overall. But regardless, we get to go into this draft with another high draft pick, which we can't be too upset by, unless if I traded it, and I literally can't remember. I think I traded next year's pick, but Kobe and Iguodala are your finals MVPs for their conference, and Kobe and the Lakers go on to win the championship. So Antonio McDye, Steven Jackson are some of the guys that retire, but this is going to be the 2012 draft. I have no idea what pick we're projected or if we trade this pick or not. We are projected the 5th overall pick, so if we can get lucky and jump up into the top 3 right now, and get a Damian Lillard or a Bradley Beal in this draft, that'd be pretty insane. So let's see if we get lucky, and we are going to drop to 6. So unfortunately, we're not going to maybe get one of the top prospects, but still, we're still going to have a good draft pick, which we could use to make a trade right now if we wanted to. So we might look into that as we're trying to take the leap into being a contender, I would say, although we're pretty young, so it's not like we necessarily have to do that. But it would be pretty cool. So I'm going to try to get at least one head coach here. There we go. We got Simon Ryan, whoever that is. So I'll bring him in. We'll go Mr. Rick Mayer as our assistant, and then I'll find a guard guru. I'll see you guys on draft night with what we decide to do. Are we going to go ahead and keep this pick, or are we going to go ahead and maybe use this pick to make a trade for a vet or something? So we could rewrite history again and repeat the same thing where David West ends up on the Pacers, and that is very tempting to do, but I honestly feel like we're just a young team. We might as well just take another guy in this draft. So instead of going the David West route, which the Pacers did do, I'm not sure how they acquired him in real life. If I could look back, I would. I probably could if I wanted to, but it's not really necessary. So I'm just going to go ahead and draft with this pick. So let's go ahead and see what happens. So AD goes to Charlotte. You're going to have Damian Lillard going to the Grizzlies. So you got the Knicks grabbing Tony Roden. So that is going to be a very interesting pick. So Bradley Beal is still on the board, but I highly doubt he falls to me. Okay, if Bradley Beal does not go to Detroit, we get... Oh, I'm about to say, if Bradley Beal falls to us, I'm clicking Bradley Beal all day. We do have Dion Waiters. So Dion Waiters, Drummond, Thomas Robinson, Harrison Barnes. So either way, you really can't go wrong with one of these. One of these guys are going to be a good role player for us. Do we want Barnes? Do we want Dion Waiters? This is definitely... Okay, so we're going to have Lance Stevenson, who's going to come out of the G League, and we're hoping he's going to be really good. Drummond is tempting. So is Barnes. I think I am going to go for Harrison Barnes. I think I'm going to go Harrison Barnes here. So Harrison Barnes is going to be the pick. Draymond Green. I forgot about Draymond Green. Oh, my goodness. I have to see what kind of overall he was. Wow, I forgot Draymond Green was even in this draft. That could have been a good pick. Draymond Green is a 73 overall. Harrison Barnes, 76. Bradley Beal, of course, I would have loved. Terrence Ross. What is Drummond? Deion Waiters, 78. Drummond was also, so 77. Okay. Draymond Green's only 73, so I'm not too upset about it, but still, I'm still happy about Barnes. So bringing Barnes in, and we also got Jared Sullinger, which is a throwback name. Player options, Paul George, Hansbrough, and then Lance Stevenson. So Lance Stevenson's up to a 74. Hopefully player progression is going to treat him even better when we get there, but Dwayne Wade's a free agent. Roy Hibbert, I think we bring back. Brandon Rush is. So let's go ahead and make sure we bring back Roy Hibbert. It's going to cost a lot of money, but he was a big part of those Indiana Pacers teams, so we're going to bring him back. Of course, he did fall off the cliff eventually, but I'm still going to bring him back. All right, so we use all of our money on Roy Hibbert. So Conley, Paul George. We're hoping Lance Stevenson takes a jump. We're going to have Harrison Barnes now as a backup 3 or a backup 4 if you want to go that route, but Hansbrough can lock that, are going to be our backup 4. Jeff Green, and then we still need a good backup 5, and we have a good... Okay, so let's go get a good backup center if we can. So I see Nene, and Nene is a name that I have not heard in quite some time. We're going to try to bring him in as our backup 5 for this Pacers squad. He's going to sign. And then we need I think a backup point guard, really, because we don't have one. So backup point guard, CJ Watson, former Pacer, I believe, as well. So we're going to bring in CJ Watson. And then we're going to go Leandro Barbosa. I don't know if Barbosa ever played for the Pacers, but welcome in. And then small forwards, we got Rajul Butler, Jarvis Hayes, Delfino. I'm going to go for Shul Butler. We just need depth. That's all we're looking for here. None of these guys are going to play major roles. And then Chris Humphries played for us last year. We'll bring him in again, so we'll go for that. So that will be our offseason. We brought in Harrison Barnes. Didn't go for like the big trade. We're hoping player progression just treats us like so nicely that we're going to be in a good spot. So cross our fingers. Stevenson, Paul George, Kawhi Leap. That's what I want. Let's see. So Paul George goes up 1 overall. I think we're going to boost him up maybe a little bit more. Conley goes down, which sucks. Lance Stevenson's up to a 77. So the people that have been telling me to send them to the G League, boost up their tendency, that seemed to work this time around. Finally worked for me. So I will keep doing that if I can. Kawhi is up to an 84. I'm going to push Paul George up there with Kawhi, I think. I think that's only fair. So I'm going to do that. Other than that, I will see you guys in next season's rotation. Hopefully, we're ready to take a massive leap into the playoffs. Not saying we're contender just yet, but a leap into the playoffs would be nice. The rotation for this season is looking like this. It's Mike Conley, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Jeff Green, Roy Hibbert, Hansbrough, Lance Stevenson's finally going to play a major role here. Chris Humphries and CJ Watson and then they as our other guys. So I'm hoping Barnes gets some minutes here. But once again, just like we did with Lance Stevenson, we could go ahead and send Barnes down to the G League if we wanted to. Now, I do want to push Lance Stevenson's shot tendency down now. I don't need him shooting 99 shot tendency now, now that he's playing real minutes for us. I am going to go ahead and do that same thing with Barnes, though. I think we're going to have some depth behind him that we can get away with it. So we're going to go ahead and send Barnes down to the G League, and then we are going to boost his shot tendency up to a 99 and have him be like maybe an 88 or not, sorry, an 80 overall for us next year. So if we don't win a championship this year, which I'm assuming we don't, but you never know. So proficiency 3.5. We're running actually just going to run a 9-man rotation. So we're going to run a 9-man rotation. We're going to see how this goes. You guys know the starting 5, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, push us to the promised land. Let's see if we make the playoffs this year. So at the end of year number 3, I believe, Kobe wins. This is year 2 or year 3, I can't remember. But Kobe wins MVP, AD Rookie of the Year. Rashard Lewis is your 6th man. Dwight Howard Defensive Player. Cole Aldrich Most Improved. And Phil Jackson Coach of the Year. That's for the Lakers again, of course. Taylor Executive for the Lakers. But Kobe, Harden, KD, LeBron. Do we get a Kawhi or Paul George making an All-NBA team? No, not this time around. But what about All-Defensive Team? Yeah, Paul George makes it once again. No Kawhi Leonard, though, which kind of sucks, but it's all good. So here's our Rookie first team and our Rookie second team. So we ended up as the 5th seed in the East. We took that leap I wanted us to. Now, unfortunately, we lost Lance Stevenson for the season. He got hurt, so he's out for the season. But he was averaging 13 points off the bench for us with 43% shooting from 3. So that is a huge blow to our bench. Really sucks, but it is what it is. So Paul George is up to an 86, Kawhi 84. Hansbrough is starting. Jeff Green's actually coming off the bench, I guess, and this is what our rotation is looking like currently. So let's see if we take down Dwight Howard and the Magic. It obviously is a Dwight Howard that was very, very good back then, as we know. I mean, outside of Dwight Howard, this team doesn't intimidate me all that much. They have Michael Beasley as well, but Dwight Howard was a very, very dominant big, as we know. Hopefully, Roy Hibbert can hold his own. Let's simulate Kurt Round against them, and we are going to beat them in 5. So we actually took care of them pretty easily. I thought for sure that would be a lot tougher, but as I said, the only really intimidating piece on that Magic team was kind of Dwight Howard, so I'm not too surprised by that. But Miami's got Rodney Stuckey, Eric Gordon, Jarvis Hayes, Gallinari, and his Cantor. A very, very funky Miami team that I'm looking at. Obviously, no Dwayne Wade, no LeBron, so pretty interesting. But we'll see if we can take them down. Stuckey's averaging 27.5. Wow. Rodney Stuckey, was he ever actually like that? I don't think so, but that's pretty crazy. Eric Gordon with 20, and then Hayes, Gallinari. What's Gallinari doing? He's averaging 13. Okay. Honestly, I think there's a realistic path for us to get into the conference final. Somebody current round, and we are going to beat them in 6. Wow. Okay. And now we get to play Agent Zero and the Wizards. Now, in the last video, the Wizards got Kevin Durant, but not this time. Instead, they have Chris Bosh, and they lost Gilbert Arenas. So that could be huge for us. Are we going to make it to the finals already? Really? Oh, no, he's injured. Wow, that is huge. Gilbert Arenas, I think, is out for the season. He's down to an 80 overall. Let's go take a look if that is the case. And he is, in fact, out for 1 to 2 weeks. So we got to take advantage of that. That is their big, I mean, he's only an 80 overall, I guess. I thought he was much better than that. Maybe he's, I don't know. Regardless, let's see if we take down the Wizards. We are going to go down 1 to 0. Do we even it up? Jeff Green gets hurt. That sucks. We do even it up, though. 124 to 87. Paul George with 33. Barnes is actually playing out of the G League now, and I don't know what kind of overall he's up to, but he's still a 77. His shot tendency's up super high, although he, it's all good, and maybe we need it. So Jeff Green's hurt, and they even it up. Can we go up 3 to 2? We can. Can we beat them in 6? Yes, we can. Let's go. We're in the finals in year 2 or year 3 of Paul George's career, which is absolutely insane. And now I get to play the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, obviously, they acquired Rondo. They also have Kobe Still, Lamar Odom, Pau Gasol, Andrew Bynum, and then JJ Redick. So I highly doubt we beat this Lakers team, but you never really know. Anything is possible in 2K. Harrison Barnes is now, if we had Lance Stevenson on top of Barnes right now off the bench, I'd feel really, really confident about this. But fortunately, that's not the case. We're down 1 to 0. Can we even it up? We cannot. Looks like we're going to probably fall short to the Lakers, which sucks. But hey, we made it to the finals. That was a gigantic leap. And now we can just bank on trying to be healthy next year. I think that our team is good enough. Maybe, just maybe, we trade Jeff Green for like legitimate 4, and that would be like our big move this offseason. And maybe, or we could also bank on Barnes being that for us and Jeff Green come off the bench. So it just all depends. So that's kind of where we're going to go with things. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I feel pretty confident about what kind of team we could be next year. Now, how I told you we weren't going to go for David West earlier, well, I'm going to try to go for him now. Let's bring David West back to the Pacers where he was. So I'm going to try to offer Jeff Green and one of my first in the future for David West. Now, the Nets are a rebuilding team, so let's see if they're willing to do this. This is going to be a gigantic veteran presence to have, like David West, put him next to Roy Hibbert, see what happens, and they don't agree to that immediately, which is fine. I'm also going to be willing to offer you, let's say I offer CJ Watson as well, and do agree, just like that, David West is our brand new power forward, just like he was for the Pacers in real life. So we go ahead and rewrite that as well and have that in here. So that's awesome. I feel good about that. So player options, let's see what we got going on here. So Paul George, Kawhi, Sullinger, Lance Stevenson, we're going to accept all those. Qualifying offers, got nothing going on here. And then for free agency, we have Dwight Howard as a free agent. We have Tyler Hansbrough, so I'm probably going to bring him back. He's been a really good backup 4 for us, and we'll just fill out some depth. And we're going to hope Harrison Barnes takes a gigantic leap. So let's see. So shot tendencies, I'm going to push Barnes' shot tendency down. Obviously, I don't need him shooting that much. We'll go like a 79, something like that. But let's take a look. So now we have Conley, we have Paul George, Lance Stevenson, Kawhi, Harrison Barnes. We have plenty of forward depth, and we have plenty of center depth, so I'm feeling good about that. So all we really need to do is sign a point guard and a shooting guard in this offseason, and we should be chilling. So Chalmers or Collison, we can go for another former Indiana Pacer and Darren Collison. So you know what? Darren Collison, welcome to Indiana, my friend. I'm so happy about that. And then we'll sign a shooting guard. So like Ronnie Brewer, something like that's going to be fine. So, all right. Player progressions, moment of truth. How much does everyone progress is the bank thing we want to see. So, Barnes up to an 80. Roy Hibbert's up to an 83. Lance Stevenson is still down and over. Or he's up to a 79, even though right now he's out for the season, apparently. But Paul George and Kawhi, 86, 85 in their own respect. So we'll go ahead, leave that all the way it is. Barnes is up. Roy Hibbert's down. But I'm feeling good about our position of maybe, just maybe, being a contender this year and winning the championship. We just got to the finals last year. So adding David West, having Barnes and hopefully a healthy Lance Stevenson off our bench. This team is really good. It really is. So proficiency, 4-star balance. Let's see what we're looking like. So now you have Conley, Paul George, Kawhi, David West, Roy Hibbert, Barnes, Collison. Also, we added to the team Hansbrough and Chris Humphries. Lance Stevenson still out for the season currently. How close is he to being back? Let's see. He is going to be back in 1 to 2 months. So he'll be back, but he'll be ready. And hopefully we can stay healthy throughout the season and go win a championship for this Pacers team. We're actually stopping the trade deadline to make a trade real quick. So we're trading a Nate Solinger and a lot of protected Pacers pick for Tyson Chandler. We need a backup 5 that's reliable behind Roy Hibbert because he keeps getting injured. So if we have Roy Hibbert as, injured, we'll have Tyson Chandler who can play for him. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. So that is the big trade we're making at the deadline. Let's go ahead, keep simulating, and let's just see how we finish out. So at the end of this season, we get the 3rd seed in the East as we get to play the Orlando Magic again. We'll see if they were able to retain Dwight Howard, who was a free agent. But 20.5 from Paul George, 17.5 from Kawhi, 15 from David West, 14.5 from Conley, 13 from Barnes, and then 12 from Lance Stevenson, 11 from Roy Hibbert, 6, and then 6.5 and 5. So we were actually pretty healthy going into these playoffs. So everyone got really healthy towards the end, which is great. So Roy Hibbert's healthy. Tyson Chandler also got hurt once we traded for him. So he's back to being healthy, which is great. So we'll go ahead and see if we can take down the Magic in round 1. Did they keep Dwight Howard? They were unable to keep Dwight Howard. So their starting center was Tyson Chandler, and I stole him from them. So yeah, the Rudy Gay is hurt for them. So that's pretty unfortunate for them. We should be able to beat them. If we lose them, I might throw a huge fit, but we're out there. He's out 1 to 2 weeks. So let's go ahead and somebody current round against them. And we are going to, it wasn't even a competition. I figured once Rudy Gay was hurt, they didn't have a center anymore. They were probably, toast. So Milwaukee, they got Raymond Felton, J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is different in this 18 points per game. Blake Griffin, 29. So Blake Griffin is a stud. And then do they have any major injuries? They do not. Bo gets injured. I don't know how good of an overall he is, but he is injured right now. So Bo gets injured. They have Omer Al-Sheikh instead, and then Corey Brewer. So not a bad starting 5, but I still feel like we're better. But it is Blake Griffin, so you never know. Game 1, we're up 1-0. Are we healthy still? And it looks like it. Oh, Conley's hurt. Of course he's hurt. Broken rib, 2 to 4 weeks. All right, game 2. They even it up. Game 3, 2 to 1. Are we going to lose in round 2? Can we go up 3 to 2? Yes, we can. Can we beat them in 6? Yes, we can win the conference finals again. Now we get to play the Wizards once again. Kawhi Leonard is hurt day to day, but he's only day to day. That's good. Conley, he might be able to be back for the finals, which is great. Kawhi, hopefully he'll be back very soon. So Wizards, they got obviously Jose Cardone, Kevin Martin, Caron Butler, Bosh, Javon McGee. I still feel like we're better. Gilbert Arenas is no longer, or no, he is. Is he hurt again? Damn. Gilbert Arenas cannot stay healthy for them. Let's see. He is out 1 to 2 weeks. He's got a concussion. Okay, here we go. Here goes nothing. Game 1. We're down 1-0. Did Kawhi Leonard play? No. And Mike Conley's hurt. So is Barnes. They're all day to day, though. So we should be back and healthy, it looks like. So everyone should be back. I guess Kawhi isn't yet. So hopefully he'll be back soon. We need to win even. Okay, we do even it up. And now is he back? Because that was day to day, right? So Kawhi, are you back? Yes, you are. Everyone is still injured. But you know what? It's the playoffs. It's crunch time. Can we even it up, or can we go up 2 to 1? Yes, we can. That's a W. Paul George with 37, 20, and then 20 and 16. We go up 3 to 1. No, we even let them even it up. Okay, how are we doing injury-wise? Conley is day-to-day, and so is Barnes. So Kawhi is fully healthy. Game 5 is going to be a big one. We might be running into the Lakers again, but they are down 3 to 2. The Timberwolves, I noticed at the very end there. But we need to go up 3 to 2 in our own respect. Let's see if we can do just that. They are relatively close, but it looks like we got it. So 106 to 89. Barnes with 20, even though he was hurt. Do we win game 6? Yes, we do. We're back in the finals now. Do we play Minnesota or the Lakers? Let's see. It is going to be the Timberwolves. So Kevin Love for the Timberwolves. And now we get a Timberwolves Pacers finals. They have Lou Williams, Eric Maynor, Wilson Chandler, Kevin Love, Al Jefferson, Mirotic. Do they have any injuries? No. So this should be our championship, in my opinion. We're fully healthy now. Everyone's fully healthy. There's no reason that we can't win a championship. There's really no reason. So let's just see how this. Oh, Collison, I guess, is hurt, but it's fine. Game 1, 1-0, 115, 110, 27, but 37 from Kawhi. Game 2, they even it up. Game 3, 2 to 1. Are we going to lose to the Timberwolves like that? Come on, win game 5. Let's go. Okay, is anybody hurt? David West is hurt. Out for the season, Bruce left hip. That's tough, but we got to win game 6. We cannot lose here. This is going to be it here. If we lose the championship and don't get one in this video. Can we come back? And we almost, are we going to fall short here? It looks like we're falling short, boys. So 111 to 110, 102, and it looks like we may fall short for this Pacers team unless we crawl back into it at the very end, but it's not looking good. So we're going to lose to the Timberwolves. Back-to-back finals, we fall up short, and that is how the video is going to end. So Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. 121 and 119. We're not done just yet. We're not quite done just yet. We're literally in this game. The Timberwolves are going to have the ball, but maybe, just maybe, I can steal this ball away. Can I steal it? Let's see. They're trying to pass it to Lou Williams. I'm here. Good defense. Okay, they give it to Kevin Love. We're going to foul Kevin Love. Okay, hopefully he splits it. If he splits it, we have a chance. Split one. Oh, come on, miss one. Okay, he makes the first one. We don't have... Okay, we do have a timeout. He is going to hit the second one. So we're going to call our timeout. Right? Yeah, call our timeout. And we are just going to try to hit a 3. That's all you can really do. Or go for a quick 2 and hope they miss a free throw. So we're not done just yet. We're literally right in the thick of things. So should I be playing this out? Probably not. But we're going to anyway. So let's see if I can get something going. Let's go to Kawhi here. And let's just see if I can take it to this basket. Give me an N1. I faded away. Well, I didn't mean to fade away. I just like literally did not get the animation to go to the... It literally like step... I don't get it. Whatever. I mean, you guys might have seen what happened. I literally tried to go to the basket and it just like stopped me from going because the defender got my way, which is fair enough, I guess. We have one more timeout. I'll use it. Is Paul George, is he out for some reason? Is he like fouled out of the game, or are we just not playing him? Is that what we're doing? So be the coach. Kawhi Leonard, Barnes. Is Paul George, he fouled out. Okay, that makes sense. So unless yeah, he's fouled out. Okay, well, let's just try to hoist up a 3 and hope for the best. Let's go to our man Kawhi Leonard. So give me a screen. Maybe I should have just done this earlier instead of going to let's see if I can hit a 3. Not gonna hit it, and that will be all she wrote. So almost made a little bit of a comeback in game 6. Maybe I should just let the CPU play the rest, and maybe they would have made the comeback happen, but I tried to do it instead. So that'll be how the video ends. Disappointment like my whole life. Thank you guys for watching. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.